Hi, my name's Ben Coleman, and I'm one of the pastors here at Sugar Creek. And I'm joined for a conversation with Xavier, Maryland, who's our campus pastor at our Missouri City location. And we're coming together today to have a conversation about a new teaching series that we have coming up called What Happens When We Die? Now, that's a question that you may not think about on a regular basis, but if we're honest with ourselves, we've all thought it and wondered about that at some point in our lives. And so we're taking 4 weeks to walk through what does the Bible actually say about heaven and the afterlife. And so, Xavier, I know that you and the teaching team and Pastor Mark have been working on this actually for months, getting ready for this sermon series. What are you excited about as we jump into this new teaching series?
Yeah, there are a few things that I'm excited about. And I think one of the biggest one kind of looped in all together is that most of the time when we think about what happens when we die and we think about the afterlife, it's filled with mystery and wonder and oftentimes fear and sometimes even a somberness to the conversation.
Yeah.
We start to think about not existing in the way that maybe we're comfortable with or that we understand. But that when we approach the scripture and the scripture talks about the afterlife and it talks about heaven and the promises of God, then we get this hope and this clarity and a purpose found rooted in the scriptures. And so I'm so excited to be able to walk through that and to sort of demystify all of those things in conversation.
Yeah, I love that phrase about demystifying heaven. I think I told you this earlier, but when I was little, I distinctly remember being younger and the topic of heaven came up at church and they were talking about how it would last for eternity. And the very first thought that went through young Ben's mind was, I'm going to need a nap and some snacks too. Snacks. Yeah, that's a long time. And honestly, when we think about heaven in terms of the way that culture talks about heaven, it kind of actually sounds a little boring to me. So I love what you're saying is that this series is going to really kind of demystify that and unpack what we can really know for sure. As you've been studying, let me ask you this, I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there anything that you have stumbled upon or studied or looked at in the Bible that you've thought, oh, wow, when we unpack that and when we teach on that part, that's going to surprise people?
I think not a specific quote, but rather a group of thoughts that I think most of us, our first introduction to the idea of hell and to the idea of life after death is introduced in a way that is full of fear.
Yeah.
But every time in the scripture we see Jesus talk about hell or we see Jesus talking about an eternity separated from God, he doesn't do it to invoke fear in our lives, but he does it to juxtapose how good a relationship with God actually is. And again, he does it to inspire our action, and he does it to seat a weight for how grand our decisions can be for today, because we can make decisions right now that have an everlasting impact. Most of the things that you and I do don't last long. I have a 2-year-old. I can correct him if I'm lucky. It may last the 2 seconds after I have to correct him.
Just a couple seconds, 30 seconds, a minute at the most.
If I'm lucky and I'm the best parent ever, I'll tell him something in a couple years that he remembers when he's 35 or 40. But eventually, even those things will be forgotten. And here's Jesus with this message that you can make decisions now and have conversations now that last an eternity. Past those naps you needed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, no, I love that. And I think that's also kind of hammering home the point that we weren't made for this life. We were made for eternity. That this is just the preseason. So heaven is the regular season. We were made for eternity. And so the things that we are doing and the decisions that we're making now, I love how you said that those are impacting eternity and setting us on that path. So that's so good. So tell us a little bit, you're going to be preaching this series live at the Missouri City campus. Tell us a little bit about the Missouri City campus, what's going on there? And for anybody that wants to come check you out for the very first time, what do they need to know?
Yeah, so I always tell everybody the most surprising thing is how creative we were with the title of the campus. The Missouri City campus is actually in Missouri City. Like, who would have thought that we put it there? But anyway, no, the point is, man, one of the things that I love the most about Missouri City, this past Christmas Eve, somebody approached me who had come to church for the first time and said, hey, I was blown away by how open everybody was and how friendly everybody was.
Yes, definitely.
And I think that our campus, I would describe it as a place where it is easy to make friends.
Yeah.
A place where it is easy to find connection.
Yep.
And when you walk in, there's free coffee and people like to stand around and converse. And there's opportunities for the kids to make friends and for the students to make friends. And I think that is one of the strengths of our campus. And as a matter of fact, so many people are finding community and so many people are growing and meeting new people that we're actually right now preparing for a building expansion as we make more room for more families and more students and more kids. And again, I think it's just a testament to what God is doing at the Missouri City campus.
Awesome. It's definitely the place to be. And it's exciting to see all the life change that's happening there, all the families that are growing together. And the student ministry is just blowing up, and there's teenagers all over the place. So it's a definitely a great place to be. So we want to invite you to be a part of this series, and we want to invite you to go to our website, sugarcreek.net, and there's a few things there that are going to help you take your first step here at Sugar Creek. First of all, you can go to sugarcreek.net/Missouri City to find out information specifically about Xavier's campus down in the Missouri City area. We also have a page built specifically for this teaching series that's sugarcreek.net/the afterlife. You're going to find some more resources on there as well, including a form that you can fill out to receive a free copy of this booklet by Randy Alcorn called Heaven. And this is a fantastic short little resource that is an abridged version of a larger book that he wrote on the same title, where he walks through answering just some of the most common questions that people ask about heaven. We would love to be able to get this in your mailbox, so go to sugarcreek.net/the afterlife, fill out the form at the bottom of that page, and we will get this in the mail to you quickly. Other than that, you can go to our website or you can follow us on social media to learn all the things that are happening at Sugar Creek. But we would love for you to come visit us in person or watch us online beginning January 12th for the next series, and again entitled, What Happens When We Die. Thanks again. We look forward to seeing you in person.